everyone, the Fro here. Before the episode begins, I just want to give a heads up about a group I talk about in this week's episode. I keep calling them by the wrong name, and I just want them to get the best shout out possible. The group's name is called Blacks and Dragons. I talk more in depthly about them in this week's episode, but I just want to make sure that you guys know their actual names so you can find them on Twitter and Instagram a lot easier. So thanks for stopping by, and let's move on with the episode. Start now. I think. Yeah, it did start.
It started?
Yes, it started.
And welcome back to Freckles and the Fro. I'm the Fro.
And this is and I'm the Freckles. This is the SMR episode.
I really hope. No, it's not. I'd like it not to be.
It is now.
I didn't mean to be that close to the mic. I'm sorry.
It's the Fro is now. Get real close.
No, I'm gonna get as far away from the mic as possible now.
And this is episode 7 of our podcast now.
Woo.
And as per Steven's request, we are gonna make it an SMR episode.
No,
I'm
not. No, this is not, and we will never do a full ASMR episode.
No, not even as a whisper, like a whisper episode.
No, we could do bits here and there, but I don't like it.
That's fine.
No, this week we're gonna continue our conversation from the last episode about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, we are. Yes, we will, and yes, we are. I don't remember where we left off. I think we were talking about your what was it, Dragons America? That one. Any update?
No, they're still.
Dang, really? Oh man.
Yeah, they're still. I mean, they're creating an entire new homebrew thing from scratch. Sorry about that. Something opened on my computer. It scared me.
That's. I hope it picked it up so I can be scared when I'm listening to it.
It didn't. No.
We'll see.
I know how to set my audio up. No, but so yeah, they're gonna take a while. But we talked about those last time. No, we left off talking about the game by Jacob Andrews from Drawfee, called You Awaken in a Strange Place.
Yes. So, as of recently, I don't think I got to tell you yet. I just met some people online. Like, I follow this Instagram called Blacks and Dungeons, and it's basically a safe space for like people who like D&D of color. And
okay.
And one day they were just like, "Hey, we're gonna start like a campaign, and we need like a few players." So I'm like, "Okay, let me just write them and see what happens." He's like, "Yeah, well, we have a lot of people, we'll get back to you if we decide, to let you join the campaign." I'm like waiting. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm super nervous." And I was like, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, we're going to start doing it on Tuesdays. Are you down?" And I've been playing with these guys, and they are super, super great. Like, they are like, some of them are, it's like a mix, because it's like, it's like it's basically a page for people who are like never played to people who are like experts.
Oh, that's hella rad.
It's hella rad. Like, they are the nicest people like my mom always told me to be careful with who you meet on the internet. And these people are not those people. Like, they are like the coolest, like nicest people I've ever met. Like, they're super down to help me learn like new characters and how to build. Like, I'm playing a wizard right now. I'm playing Freak. And
oh, cool.
And like our last playthrough, I was just like, "Man, I hate playing a wizard. Sucks." And they're like, "No. They're like so supportive. They're like, "Nah, bro, it's fine. Like, it's because you're a first level, dude. Like, it's gonna suck at the first level." They were like, "Trust me, it's gonna get so much better, and you're gonna have such a cool character." And like after the campaign, they'll like write me and be like, "Hey, dude, like." This spell you're doing, you don't need to roll an attack roll, and like this and this, and super great people. And if you're hearing this, please follow Blacks and Dungeons. They're like amazing group of people, and like amazing like people when it comes to tabletop. So totally check out their page. I was just really excited because we just had a really good run the last time. One of our team members was missing and she was like super missed, and like it made me want to like get back to our campaigns. Like I really miss when like our campaigns, and like I want to build a new character but I want to, of course I'm gonna play, like I think I was playing Freak and Quinn in the last campaign we did, right?
For which storyline?
The one with Andre and Nadia.
You were playing Freak.
I was playing Freak? Wow, I'm surprised.
You decided to play Freak because
Quinn is too much.
Andre, well, not that it's too much, but Andre's playing the murder hobo.
Oh, yes, true.
So putting the two of you together. Oh no, maybe I think you switched like halfway through.
Yeah, because I was getting tired of playing two characters.
Yeah.
But I think I want to make a new character. I really want to play a Goliath barbarian. Like I have like this whole like one I really really want to make, because I'm always really big into hack and slashing, and I want to be a tank so bad. So I think in your campaign I'm gonna build it, because I'm already building them. I just stopped because I was too busy trying to work on the campaign,
which I've been doing a lot of in this last week. I've been working hard in my little notebook here, trying to set things up so that we can get started even without all my other supplementary stuff. And I'll just figure out a way to incorporate that in later on.
So I brought up the Blacks and Dungeons because I told them like, hey, I really want to DM, and since I'm not proficient in the DM, I really want to learn more about the you woke up in a strange place, because that's so like, it's not really it's a homebrew, right?
So it's so it actually, like, it has nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
It's just a fully improvised role-playing game. If you you don't need a table to play at and, minis and maps and all this stuff. You can literally just, the most you need is like a single piece of paper and 2d6, which you can steal out of any Monopoly game. So like Dungeons & Dragons, it's like you need to know, like there's a core set of rules, and if you pick a class and a race, and each race and class has strengths and weaknesses, and there's all this stuff to it. For this game, it's just about having fun.
And that's what I'm here for.
If you wanted to translate it into D&D, I would say that the game is really good for like improv storytelling. Because part of it as the game master is you only get I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes or something to make up your story. And then everything else throughout the actual gameplay is improv.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Is pretty open to like such a, well, if you're good at improv, that would be something I could really get into. But if you're like somebody who needs to like have like a build story and can't really, do that.
For that, even if you just want to get, like, even if you want to practice improv, it's a great game. Me and you, we're not the best at improv.
Hey, we're not terrible either.
Right, but we also have a theater background. But, like, we don't have the great, like, we can't get up on a stage and do, a 10-minute, comedy routine.
Hanging out in a Starbucks.
Off the top of our head. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But, like, this game could help you improve those skills. I don't know where I was going to go with this.
It's an improvish game
Yeah,
that that's not for people who don't have like at least can work on the fly. I think that's a better word, to work
yeah,
on the fly.
yeah.
And I like working on the fly. I think that's real. I think that's what DMing is. You have to be able to work on the fly.
Well,
And if,
like I said in our last episode, when you're DMing, it's not so much having a structure, but having 2 points. You have where you are, and that's your starting point, and you know where your story is going. You know
mm,
the end game.
there's yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you know the beginning, you know
typically,
the end.
right. Typically your end game is, you fight the big bad evil guy, and then, yay, everybody lives happy, or whatever it is. It's all the middle bits that you kind of play with, on either, whenever you guys play. Like if you do a monthly session and you play for 4 hours, that's a lot to work on. But if you guys are doing like a weekly thing, Wednesday nights is your game night for your table. It's like, okay, we're gonna play for an hour and see what happens, and next week we'll do the same thing. And it's a lot shorter of a time span that you need to worry about progressing story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more of DMing. Like, yeah.
All right.
Um,
Well, I think eventually. I have to get more accustomed. I guess more not accustomed, but I need more practice. I guess I just need to DM more. I guess it's just scary because especially with playing like with the people that I've been playing with, like they're so advanced that I'm just afraid that they're not gonna have a good time. And I want, of course, even with you, like I said, even the last episode with you, like I was so scared you were gonna be bored, and you were like, "Nah, I had a blast." I was like, "But what about next time?" Like, I don't
so,
know.
so I mean, listen, like I said, anytime you want to do it, next whenever you're ready, I'll pull out my character sheets if I could find them. If not, we'll just keep it going with 3 new characters, and we'll just keep going from there. I mean, it's not a crazy thing, but if it's something you want to work on, we'll like I mean, listen, I'm not the best, but I can help, where I can, and we can play more. I'm never not down to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Officially, of course. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we're playing like from the book. We're playing Waterdeep,
Okay.
and my DM's doing such a great job. He's really making it really fun. What is he calling this part of the campaign? I can't remember, but it's like based on the Kardashians, and it's really funny.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, it's like it's not the Kardashians, but it's basically a really rich family that
Okay.
we're basically trying to get into their house. And it was pretty chill. Like we just fought two dudes and they like murdered all of the servants. And we can't find these rich people. Like we're not even looking for this rich person. We're looking for this Nimrite that is just looking for a Nimrite. That's all we were looking for, which is like some sentient like creature, made of like steel. And that's who we're looking for. And then we just walked into like 12 dead bodies. I'm just like, Jesus, like it was so much fun. Like, ugh. But anyway, like if they said that they'd be always down to do different DMings, and with you I know I could always DM. I just want to do like with more people. Like I'd like to DM, with Nadia and Andre, and
Right. So
definitely get Shama in again cuz I love his character.
right.
Like,
Well, so the nice thing about it is like, I mean, it especially between the two of us, it doesn't take that long for us to roll up new characters. So if we ever want to try like one shot things, your DM, but it doesn't, you have this concept of you want to try this quick story or something, you know, it doesn't have to be in the main timeline. We don't need to worry about how is it going to affect the rest of the campaign. It's, we take, an hour between the two of us and roll up however many new characters we need. Not that I
Mhm.
don't already have them made, and it's just people just have to choose which ones they want to use.
Mhm.
But, we'll take them, either distribute them or make new ones for if somebody wants to really try something different. And,
Mhm.
just play a quick little one shot for an evening or whatever it is.
Sounds like a plan. Totally
Yeah.
sounds like a plan. I just love long sessions. I'm like a sucker for, dude, let's wake up early and let's play an 8-hour session. I don't care.
Oh, I mean, listen, if
I love if I had the
the issue
time.
our issue with that is obviously one time because
Time.
we're people and we have lives that need to get lived,
That's fine.
but it's also a fact of our entire table works on a different sleep schedule than each other.
That's super facts. Like it was. I remember was it you? I think it was you that we played like an 8 hour. No, it wasn't you. It was my other DM I had in college. We literally
Yeah.
we got together at like 11 a.m. and we played all the way till probably 9-10 p.m. It was so great. Like we were all
Yeah.
dead. We were all physically and mentally dead. Like we had to take a break in the middle. We're like, okay, we're gonna go get lunch. I'm gonna order lunch for everybody. Everybody want pizza? Cool, we're getting pizza. Got pizza, and then we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna start back up again. I'm like, cool, not a problem.
Yeah, I
let
mean,
me get drinks.
for our little thing, I mean, we did for your campaign, we I think we did I think it took, not that we did it that long, but it took a good like 5 hours. I think that sounds right to me. And then my campaign with you and Shema, uh, that took us a lot of time too. But we also had to make him a character that day, so there was a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, there was. Oh yeah, it was just a really packed. And then Shama's like, I think what did we play like 3-4 hours? I don't even think we played that long. And Shema was like, after you left, he was like, I don't know how you guys do that for so long. I was like, what do you mean? That was a short set. She goes, that was a short session? I'm like, yeah, that was a short session. He goes,
I mean, we also took a significant amount of time out to eat and watch
that's true.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Hey,
but
priorities.
right, of course.
Oh man, I want to talk about anime now. Not the episode.
No, maybe next episode. We'll go
Um,
back to anime.
wait, real quick. Did you see Invincible?
Did I? No, not yet.
Okay, that's something you have to watch after this. It's on Amazon. If you need an Amazon, I'll give it to you. But watch that.
I got an Amazon thing.
Watch it. It's Invincible. It's really good. Anyway, back to D&D.
Right.
But yeah, like honestly, I just maybe I don't know, because when I played my wizard, when I was playing with you, my wizard was kicking so much ass. In my campaign now, I'm not hitting anything. Like, I think out of this whole campaign, we've been playing like a few weeks now, and I think I've only killed one thing.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. Listen,
No,
sometimes the dice are on your side, sometimes they're not.
I know they're not, and I feel like I'm such not an asset to my team, and they're so good. They're so good. Ugh, they're so good, and it makes me so upset, because I'm like, oh my god, I'm garbage. I'm a stinky wizard. Gandalf, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gandalf. I'm sorry. Anyway, but it's just like, yeah, but that, like, my goal this weekend is to like pull out my player manual and do a little like homework on on spells, and like what would be best for combat and what would be best for support, as a support, fighting. Like I have to do my homework, because I think I'm like level 2. I think I'm level 2 wizard now. So like I have to look into the schools and see if what's best that will help me in my gameplay.
Are you guys using actual experience points, or are you doing milestone based?
I'm not quite sure. I think it's milestone. Uh,
Well, have you had to keep track of experience points, or is your
no.
DM keeping track?
I think there he's keeping track.
Okay,
So is that
because I
milestone or?
because from no, so that if they're keeping track of experience points, then you're actually using experience point leveling. Because like for my next campaign that I've been working on,
Mm-hmm.
it's very much a milestone based thing. Like just because like numbers are hard, man.
Numbers are hard, man.
So it's just easier to be like, okay, I want them. I know they need to be at least this level to be here, and this much to be here, and this fight is they're gonna need to be this level, and by the end, I want them to be this level. So just doing like milestone experience is gonna be easier for my story.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
Um,
I think he's doing experience based, but we're not counting it. I think he's counting it.
okay.
Um so yeah, I think we just hit level 2. Um and yeah, it's just it's just I just got to do more homework on my character and yeah, it's I just pulled out my 3.5, but I think he's going by 5th edition, so I probably should use my 5th edition. But
I mean,
I like
if that's the
3.5.
system you're playing, you should probably use that book.
5th edition. Man, I just love 3.5. Like 3.5
Well,
is just
that's why me and you play 3.5.
we play 3.5. I don't even think it matters. One's old, one's not. One's more
Yeah,
up to date and kinder to new players. That's what I think
Yeah.
it is. I think 5th edition is just kinder to new players.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked into 5.
Really? Dude, I'll give you
I'm-
my monster manual and I'll give you the dungeon
I have
master.
it.
Oh,
I
you
have them
how do you have them and you haven't even like glanced at them? Like, come on.
because well, for one, I have them in PDF form, so there's that.
Oh, dude, I'll give you the book.
No, I don't.
They're stinky.
I don't
want
I
it.
don't want the books. No. My issue is like
I don't want it.
I know the system that works for me.
Mhm.
I don't care about the other systems.
Mhm. I
So
don't care.
if it also like doesn't factor in like all of my homebrew bullshit,
Mhm.
because like I'm definitely using a mix of homebrews from like I definitely have some 3 homebrew. I definitely have 3.5. I think some of my stuff is 5, and I think I might even have some 4 in here, but nobody uses 4, so it's not important.
That's fine.
But like, yeah, I'm just all over the place with it. So I don't want to get contradictory rules caught in my head.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, but I feel like it's good to have it, like, because you can absorb, like, okay, this is when, because I feel like one day you're gonna eventually play a 5th edition game.
And when that time comes, I'll look at the rules. Until that time,
No.
I'm not looking at it.
No. But and what was the other thing? Yeah, I've been watching of course, just my Dementia 20 as I write on the campaign. But I think that's the one I'm really like, the America, what was it? The Dungeons America? That one I was like, I hope there's more info came out, like maybe, because I know you said there was a pushback date, and I was like, dang, I really hope it comes back.
So, the thing that got pushed back is actually an expansion to it.
Oh, I thought it was the actual game itself.
No. So we have, because it's in the Google Drive that I share with you, the actual PDF for the main. It's a campaign setting. It's not an actual like story. It's just like, this is your world, this is where you live. Here's some big cities that are involved in it, like maybe some characters or deities or whatever. But you have all this stuff because I've shared it with you.
Oh yeah, the group the group folder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the PDF is in there that you can look at whenever. And I mean, people, if they want this stuff, they can go buy it because I'm not sharing it with them. they can support this lovely company that makes me happy. Um, and but yeah, so the thing that got delayed is the expansion to it called Restaurants and Retails, something like
Ooh!
that.
Oh, yes, you told me about this in the last one.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what actually got delayed, not the actual main campaign. But getting back to what you just said about watching Dimension 20,
Okay.
uh, is I wanted to bring this up last time because we kept dropping like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and Fantasy High or whatever. We kept saying these names, and people may not know what they are.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, they are. I mean, they started on YouTube, I believe, and
Yes.
now they're ridiculous. Um, they're essentially D&D shows where you watch a group of people play D&D.
There's a lot of stuff like that. We'll talk about others after we talk about Dimension 20.
Well, well,
Critical Role.
my whole thing about bringing it up
Mm-hmm.
Was people may like if they're new into D&D and they come across it, they may be like, well, I want to have a table like that, and then they'll play their first session and be severely disappointed
What?
because people don't realize that the group of people sitting around that table are professional actors.
Well, not only professional actors. These people have actually like gone to school for improv. Like they actually are like trained improv people.
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
People may get unrealistic
expectations.
Yeah, for their table would turn out like if they just watch these shows and then go, I'm gonna write a campaign, and then they try to go play it. Like
with zero improv skills,
they need to understand that those people are paid to be there, and
really?
those people, well, they make money off of it.
I didn't know they were. I thought they were just, I like D&D, and these people are cool. Damn, I didn't know they got a bag.
I'm sure some of them are there just because they like D&D, but like, they're also there collecting a paycheck.
Damn, I want to collect a paycheck playing D&D with my cool friends.
Well, they're also, I mean, that's not the only thing. It's like, okay, figure what? Dimension 20 is through what? Dropout? College Humor?
Yeah, Dropout. I think College Humor's dropped them.
Whatever it is. But so when they were under College Humor, it's like, okay, you're an actor for College Humor. That means you're gonna star in this sketch series, this sketch series. Oh, hey, do you play Dungeons and Dragons? Cool, you're gonna be on this show too. And that's your paycheck. Like, you show up every week, you play D&D, you do this sketch. You play D&D, you do that sketch. Like, and that's where your paycheck comes from every week. Now it's like, okay, we're on our own. Mm-hmm. So, maybe the set isn't as nice as it used to be, but, we're still playing our game. We're still making money off of our show. We still need to put on a good show to keep our audience entertained. So we need to keep up the show, like, but yeah, I just wanted to get that known, like, because I was reading an article not too long ago, and it's becoming known as the Matt Mercer effect, which I mean, I like Matt Mercer. He's a cool guy. I haven't met him. I'd love to, because he's a great voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, people they find, like, he did McCree in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also done countless other roles, but that's where I know him best from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, this guy's got a really cool voice. Let me see what other games he's involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, through the rabbit hole of Wikipedia, you find out, oh, he's on Critical Role. Or, yeah, he's on Critical Role. That's his show, where he DMs.
Professional voicer?
Actor.
Yeah, and I didn't even know
he's a
that.
Professional actor. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's on Critical Role, right? That's his
Yeah,
whole,
that's his
whole
that's
deal?
his steez. That's his whole deal. And I didn't even know that
Yeah.
was him until I watched Dimension 20. And he was on
Yeah.
Dimension 20 for one, and I was like, "Wait, doesn't he have his own thing?" And then I looked it up
Yes.
and I saw he was on Critical Role. And Critical Role is also really good.
Oh, Critical Role is, don't get me wrong, fabulous. I love it.
Mhm.
I mean, I like Dimension 22, but I like Critical Role a little bit better. Uh, but it's just that view, like especially now that Dungeons and Dragons is getting into that mainstream media kind of thing, where it's coming more across people's dashboards and timelines and whatever else. People are going to get this unrealistic idea of, I'm going to go do this and it's going to be this. And it's not. I'm sorry to say.
Oh yeah, no. And that's really honestly that's crazy that that happens because these shows I watch actually get me pumped to play because I've never had like my first experience. I didn't even know about these shows. I've only known from what I've read, what I've gathered, from what you've told me, what we've played, what our tabletop experiences. And it, again, yeah, I think it might be because we both have theater backgrounds and we know how to, even even though we might not be proficient in voice acting, we still know how to put on a good story.
Well,
And
I mean, it also helps that me and you have been friends for a
that
decade.
too.
You know,
That too.
we uh, we've never taken the improv class, but we always yes and each other.
Oh yeah, we
You
know
know,
how to
when we're
bounce back
going
and
off on a,
forth.
yeah, we know
Tangents.
when the dumb tangent starts, and it's like, okay, this is gonna go somewhere. Like, let's keep poking the bear. Like, you
Uh
know,
I'm going to write this down for later use.
yeah.
like
So, but like, if you don't have that group of people where, you know, if they're professional actors or even, dumb, like if you were in the musical in high school and you know how to play a character and really get yourself into it, like then yeah, oh, it's entirely possible that your first session can be a Dimension 20, a Critical Role, a Fantasy High. Like yes, it is entirely possible. Chances are it won't be though. Like, I'm sorry.
that's and I feel like it's just I think that's a mix because with some people you can always have like that connection. It doesn't have to be like 10 plus years, of course, but if you don't have that energy, if you don't have like that energy, that mindset, I feel like it's just you can't bounce off of each other. Like you have to be willing
Oh,
to
I
you have
mean,
to
yeah,
you have to
I've met people, not recently, because
mhm.
you know, global pandemic going on, shit. But like, I've met people where 20 minutes into a conversation, it's like, I want to sit down and play a role playing game with you just to see what happens. Like,
Yeah, just to see.
your normal personality is at a 7 already.
Mhm.
I want to see what happens when you're allowed to lose yourself in a character and go to like a 12.
Yeah,
Like,
or times that by 12. Like
yeah,
and
like I want to see I
and
I want to see you lose it.
yeah, and then that's another thing. That's the beauty of D&D is that you can be whoever you want to be. You can be your personality times 12 or you can be your personality divided by 12. Like
Oh yeah, no, you
that's
can
beautiful. Like
you can like if you picture yourself as the middle ground,
mhm.
you can go any direction with
Any
a
not even,
character.
exactly.
You can be anything, you can do anything, like
That's what's it's like it's just like any RPG if you were to play on a
right.
console. Like it's
Right. You get
it's
to pick your stats. You
mhm.
get to choose where you go and what you do and how this.
Mhm. And how you
Maybe
do
not so
it.
much how this. Well, yeah.
That's the
But I was,
die's.
I
Oh,
was gonna
sorry.
say
That's the
about the
die's
story.
decision. That's the die's decision, not yours.
Right.
Sorry, that's the one thing. And I feel like that's intimidating. That could be intimidating to some people. Like, I made this character. I could do whatever I want with this character. The DM will be like, the dice get to tell you how you get to do certain
Right.
things.
I mean,
And that could
well,
be intimidating.
well, that's where that conversation of back and forth, maybe before you sit down and play, it's like, listen, you're gonna be the DM. I gotta know what are my boundaries. You know, You know,
Oh yeah.
as a DM, you get to set those.
Of course.
So you're I mean, for lack of a better word, you're God at that moment of
Basically, like,
like I mean, not to say that you're not also playing gods in the game of, you know, creating deities and all this
which
other stuff, but
you
like
will you will find a god.
you're you're the one above all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's you know, you make the rules. You say, "Oh, sorry, that die roll wasn't high enough."
Sorry.
Like, tough shit. I don't care that you rolled a nat 20. Doesn't mean shit to me.
It's
Like,
and that's the and what the thing is, like, and that's like life, like, and I feel like that could be like life sometimes, because sometimes you're gonna roll your die and sometimes you're not gonna get high enough. You're gonna get a natural one sometimes, like, and that's what I find the beauty in dice, because it's not always gonna be perfect.
I was
It's not always gonna be perfect.
No, not at all. Thinking
What?
about relating D&D to life.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading, I think it was actually a Tumblr post. Because,
Ooh, you got
you know,
Tumblr.
that's still a thing.
We're still on Tumblr, by the way. Follow me.
Yeah. Oh, don't do that.
I'm the
If,
BEA
I mean, if you
beautiful.
can find it, find it, be my guest. But no.
He won't tell you his, but I'll tell you mine. It's BEAU Tiffle Day in the neighborhood. Shout out.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Neighborhood.tumblr.com.
Yeah. But I was reading a Tumblr post and it was talking about what was it? Have you heard of like the spoons theory when it comes to dealing with like depressive mindsets?
From the Matrix?
No.
Okay, then
not
no.
that. No, so it's like you only have so many spoons throughout the day. And it's like, well, it takes, you know, 2 spoons to get up out of bed and go do this task or something.
Kind of.
Like, well,
kind of, yeah. I've
Okay.
definitely heard it, but not with spoons.
Okay. The Tumblr post equated it to spell slots in D&D.
Oh,
And it finally clicked for me. Like
that
the spoon
makes...
thing, I was like, whatever, I'll just get a fork.
I was just about to say I'll get a fork or chopsticks. I don't need Western inventions.
Yeah. But like it equated it to spell slots for me.
Oh,
and I was just like, this makes so much more sense. It's
so
like,
much
okay,
more sense.
I have a big task to do today. I have to use one of my 5th level spell slots.
Mm-hmm. That's for big stuff. Like, that's for big stuff.
But
and
at
once
the same
those are
time,
exhausted...
I can use that same 5th level spell slot to, like, I don't know, put pants on today. Relatively easy task.
I was gonna say that's a cantrip. That's pretty easy.
Right. But I can use a 5th level spell slot to cast a cantrip.
That's true. It would just be a strong...
Unfortunately, that does mean I now have one less 5th level spell slot.
Yeah, so it's going to be
my daily task. So it's like, it's this whole balance of, you know, I got to figure out, you know, when do I use my big tasks? When do I use small tasks? You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. It was just something I was reading the other day and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool and D&D related.
And the only way to refill your spell slots is with the long rest. Oh my, you know, you really blew my mind at this point.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I was like, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense. And then he was like, oh, I'm like, oh my God. And to refill, you need a long rest. I'm like,
yep.
Life is like D&D, man. It's total life.
Listen,
play D&D, y'all. Just play it.
Even if you don't play it, live your life like you play it.
Yeah, like if you're listening to this and you had like one of those experiences where it just wasn't for you, try it again. Like try it again. Maybe you DM. Maybe you're more of a DM. Like maybe you're more of a DM and less of a player.
If you're a storyteller,
tell your story.
Tell your story. Like
tell your story.
Think of it this way: if you're not a main character, you're probably a DM.
Oh, big facts.
Just throwing that out there.
And then everyone else out there, if you're not a DM, you're probably an NPC. That's fine. That's fine too.
Oh, that's totally an option too.
That's totally an option too.
That is.
You're
that's
totally
an entire option.
The lovable NPC.
Yeah.
That's fine too. But yeah, man, like D&D like is one of those games that like really I honestly believe that more. And did you know that companies actually do tabletop role playing for like team development?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
Like
they make really good like
team building
exercises, and
exercises.
or even just like getting to know people. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could learn a lot about somebody by the way they build a character, or like by even like what choices they make in the
In
process
the
of like how they
yeah.
play. Like I can hand you a character, and the way you play that character, I'll probably know everything I need to know about you.
Oh yeah, especially like like even if it's a person who doesn't match your personality, I think everybody puts a little bit of themselves in every character, just a little bit. If it's not
Mm-hmm.
fully themselves, it's a tiny bit. So even
It's
if
enough of themselves to get that serotonin release
oh
of like,
definitely.
yeah, this is a good thing I'm doing.
Yeah, like definitely cuz like in honestly with the gameplay that I'm playing with Freak has become a lot more chill because of the people they were with. Like in the campaign that I was playing with you guys, Freak is like no. Freak is just like nope. I need to be
Yeah.
carried by the shortest person in the party. Like I think I think Quinn is like 5'8" and Freak is like 6'8", and Quinn was like carrying around Freak because he was so
Yes.
scared in the brothel. Like it was so funny. Now like Freak stealing from people, and like it's been a real growth process.
Which is
And
great.
that's great. Like again, like it's a I'm telling you, give D&D a chance. Dimension 20 is like you said, people get paid, people are trained actors, but give it a chance. Like just give it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
from Freckles, this is a Freckles and a Fro approved message. Give D&D a chance. give it again. Give it a chance. And I think and I honestly do believe, and I think you can agree with me that when Stranger Things came out, D&D definitely got a boost in
Oh,
popularity. Definitely
yeah.
did. Like
Well, I mean, there's been a ton of like crossover stuff that Dungeons and Dragons and like Wizards of the Coast have done. I mean, they've done like they were in Stranger Things, like they got branded Stranger Things stuff. Um, but like even we played it for my birthday last year. There's a Rick and Morty themed set
oh,
where
we talked about this one.
did we?
Yeah, of course. You were the one
Oh,
who
I
even
don't
sent
remember.
it to me. And you were
Oh,
like,
no, yeah, I sent it to you. I didn't know. I didn't think we talked about it on the podcast here.
oh no. We talked about it on our personal time. I think you even have
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm saying.
folder. You even have a folder in the
Yeah,
D&D
well,
pack of the
the whole
PDF.
yeah, it's in one of the folders there. But yeah, there's like an officially licensed like partnership between Wizards of the Coast and Adult Swim for a Rick and Morty themed Dungeons and Dragons, and it's got a whole like Dungeon Master's guide and a rule book for the world. It gives you like 4 or 5 character sheets based on Morty and Summer and Jerry and whatever.
Oh yeah,
Like there's
yeah, they
specific monsters. There's a whole campaign in the
mhm.
book. So like
Mhm.
if you want to get into Dungeons and Dragons without actually like getting your whole foot wet, and you like Rick and Morty, go for that then. What else? I believe there's uh, what was it? One of the other ones recently they did. I think it was a My Little Pony one for anybody out there that likes that.
Oh yes,
Um,
you told me about the My Little Pony one too.
yeah. I
If
mean, there's tons
there's
of stuff, and
there's even one that we want to do. We want to do a Steven Universe themed one where you have to
yes,
basically build a character off of a actual stone. And
yes,
what we want to do is basically we put stones on the table and everybody has to pick one of the stones. The stone that you pick will be a pre-made character. And you get to play as that character.
yeah.
So that would be something we really want to do because we love Steven Universe, and I think the Ocean City would be a perfect place, and Gem World would be a perfect place to do a D&D campaign. Again,
Yeah, it
we
could be really fun.
we really like homebrew stuff. Like
Yeah,
I guess
I mean that's the other thing. It's like, listen, if you can't find, the one for you, you could just make it up, man. Like,
yeah, man, just make it.
That's the nice thing about
beauty
homebrew.
of it.
It's like, you can. Although, I mean, they are far enough that like almost everything. Like, you can be like, you don't like medieval fantasy. You want to be a cowboy? Cool. There's a gunslinger class. Like, you can just be a cowboy. You want to you want to be an astronaut? Well, maybe D&D is not for you. Go play Warhammer or something. But
or what's
like,
the other one? What's the other one that's out there? I can't remember I don't like those other ones.
No, we don't. Then again, we're medieval fantasy. Like, that's our whole bit. Like,
I like space. I'll do space. And there's
I'll
totally
do it, but
homebrews
like, it's not
in space. Not my steege.
I'll do it, but that's not my
Pathfinder.
my
There's also
niche.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, you could do that. Like,
Pathfinder's very
tons of stuff
spacey.
you can do.
D&D.
There is a million different things you can do with it, and like we've said, homebrew.
Homebrew.
That's the key. If you don't like something, cool, change it. You want to add some stuff? Cool, add it. You don't like whatever you want. Like, just make it work.
A lot of but a lot of old, like, OG D&D players are not really big fans of homebrews because it's going against the core rules of the original what Wizards of the Coast did.
The Wizards of the Coast has changed things around.
Come on, the old heads don't want to hear that.
They're not Gygax. They're not Gygax. They didn't invent the game. Screw them. They don't matter. What matters is you like the game, you want to play the game, play it however you want. It's an open source, open world game. You write the code, you play the game. That's how it works.
Oh, real quick, what's that YouTube channel that you watch where they literally turn like any character into a character sheet for D&D? They did Yugi. I know you showed me they did Yugi. Yeah. They did Steven.
Yeah, that's how I learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dungeons and Dragons and
Ash. And you did Ash too. I think one of your characters you have now you want to build as like a Pokemon trainer with like that.
So that is my GIF character, Brost.
He
his whole deal is he wants to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of that mid-90s, early 2000s cartoon protagonist where he's a little bit of Yugi and a little bit of Ash, and he just wants to collect all the things and be the best, like,
and make friends on the way.
Yeah. But so the YouTube channel that I follow that does it, it's called Tulok the Barbarian. It's just some dude. He takes fictional characters and makes character sheets and all this stuff and teaches you how their mechanics work. His most recent one is how to play Detective Pikachu as of our recording. He posted it today. Other ones in his recent history is Eraserhead from My Hero.
Love him, though.
He's got Captain Falcon, Dr. Octopus, Ventus from Kingdom Hearts. Like, he's got all sorts of weird ones. Chances are if you want to play a specific character, he's got either that character or something close enough that like you can mess around with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really good. Check him out. Give him a subscribe if you like.
And hit that.
I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Well, maybe. That one was really fun. Like, another, like, D&D is such an open, but like I said, some people, and you also gotta like speak with the person you're talking to, because there's some people who are, like I said, like, I love playing with Steven because Steven's very open and very open to imagination and homebrewing. While I had an old DM, we won't say her name, but we'll call her Karen for now, and terrible name choice, but her name was Karen. And she was really chill in the beginning of becoming a DM. She was like, yeah, you roll for it. Tell me to do it. And then she became a real stickler for the rules. Like, you couldn't do certain things. Like, you had to be very proficient in things for her to be able to, like, if you wanted to use, like, rope and you didn't have a certain strength, she was just like, no, you can't roll that. I'm like, what? I was like, I just want to pull this. I would just want to use the rock and I want to swing it. I can't roll just to see if I make it. She goes, no. I'm like, cool.
See,
I just use the rope and try to get the guy. He goes, okay, roll for it. I'm like, cool. Like last one, I'm like, Woody.
well, it's not necessarily that. It's like there's certain things that, as a person, your character should be able to do. Like throw a rope at somebody. Everybody can do that.
Yeah.
But where the role comes in is how well you do it. Which,
that's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't even let me do that, and I was just like,
yeah. I
mean,
like,
I don't know why it was, but
even
yeah,
even at that, like, she just didn't let you do it. A better way, if you're gonna be that kind of DM, which I'm not telling anybody to be, because nobody should ever be that. You should always want a clear and open communication way between your DM and your players. Everybody should know the rules of the world. But if you're gonna do things like that, let them roll. Let your player roll, even if they want to do something completely impossible that has nothing to do with anything. Let them roll. But set the challenge high.
Yeah, like
something where even with their proficiency bonuses and whatever other bonuses they've got, set it to where they will not do it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've done that a few times.
Really?
I've set things. So it was when. So I'm not against allowing my players to use multiple proficiencies in the same role. This is how Andre and Nadia wound up with a werewolf friend.
Yeah, like,
man, like, what happened was Andre and Nadia were in the dungeon. The very last thing they had to fight in the dungeon in order to escape was the werewolf. They didn't want to fight it. Nadia said, hey, can I use animal handling and whatever this other proficiency was? And I was like, okay, animal handling, she's got like a +4, and this other one, she's got a +3. So the highest she can roll is a 27. I was like, you know what? The difficulty is a 25. That gives you an error of 3. You know what? Roll for it. She wound up getting the 27. I was just like, you know what? I made the rule. I'm not going to go back on it. Fine. You get a werewolf friend. I am, however, and if they are listening to this, I want them to know I am actively trying to kill the werewolf at every step of the way.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, like, but again, that's like, because I want my players to feel like they have choices, which they totally did. I could have shot them down right then and there and be like, no, you can't use 2 proficiencies, and also you can't try to tame the werewolf. Like, it's an enemy, you have to kill it. Instead, no, I want, especially because that was their, like, first time playing after making characters, like, I want them to have a good time. So
you want them to keep coming back.
Exactly. So you know what? Yeah, roll to see if you can tame the werewolf that's trying to murder you. Yeah, it's really difficult. Did you get it? Cool. Guess what? He's now the big enemy on the field. He's getting the most attacks. Like, they're not going after the murder hobo who's 4 foot nothing. No, they're going after the 8 foot tall werewolf. Like,
yeah, no.
But yeah, like, that's how, as a DM, I would handle those kind of situations. It's like, you just make it really hard, and if they get it, you know what? Fine. You let them play. But if they don't get it, whoops, you didn't roll high enough. Anybody else want to try? Cool.
And that's like that. And that's the beauty of it. Like, and It's just, yeah, you just want people to come back. And I hope she is still DMing, and I hope she's gotten, like, you know, a lot better with her DMing. And I believe she has.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I definitely believe she has.
Listen, anybody that wants to do it, I hope nothing for the best.
Oh, yeah,
you want to DM? You DM. You
bro.
only want to be a player character? You only be a player character. That's totally fine. A lot of people aren't cut out for DMing.
Dude,
you never know until you try.
She got into an argument with one of the players one time. But I'm not gonna lie though, that dude was backseat DMing, and kind of metagaming, and also she would go really hard on us when we would metagame, like just little stuff, and she would like at one time she had like a spray bottle that literally just said the meta spray, and she would just spray us if we like metagamed.
See, that's too far. Like,
she was a weird.
I understand.
She was cool.
I understand metagaming. I understand it. Like, just because, like, you know, even, I mean, you know, you lose focus sometimes and you start talking about something else that's vaguely related to the game. I get it, but like, you know, kind of, you know, as a DM, you got to learn how to reel your players back without essentially assaulting them. Like, they're not cats. You can't spray them. That's not okay.
It was really weird. It was funny at first, but she started bringing it to like every session, and I was just like, "Oh, is that gonna be a permanent thing, bro? Like, that's weird."
Yeah, no. At that point, I would have walked away from the table. Like, listen, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, no.
You're on your own.
A lot of people didn't come back after that. Like we still had like a big party, but nobody came back. Like, a lot of people didn't come back. It was only me, because she was the only one DM that I knew. And I think I told you about her before, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want you to come. She's not the best." Like, and you were like, "Well, I still want to come."
I'm gonna be honest. The only reason I wanted to show up was to make her cry as a DM.
No, but you shouldn't do that, Steven.
No. Oh, listen. It's not that I wanted to. I felt it was my duty.
No, it's not.
Because no DM should treat their players like that.
Oh, you're true. That's absolutely true.
Listen, I can be one of the greatest players at a table, and I have been. I can also be one of the worst. You don't want people to metagame? No problem. I don't need to metagame. But my character is omniscient about shit that they shouldn't be, because I knew how to roll their stats. Like, I gave them insight and wisdom, and their history and arcana back checks are double proficiency. Like, my character's a genius. They've also got, like I said, I have a level 9 character that's proficient in everything. You want to try and fight me on rules? Go for it.
That's funny.
I'll be your worst nightmare at a table.
Honestly, you could have.
Or I'll play my tree character, who is a pyromancer and is constantly setting themselves on fire. Like, what do you want to do?
She would have killed your ass. I'm gonna be honest. She can
try.
I remember.
She could try.
She did one thing, and I forgot. Like, jokingly, one of the characters was like, the DM was like, roll for advantage, and she was like, roll for something. She was, and the character goes, I want to fight the DM. Okay. She goes, okay, you're dead. I was like, is that how that works? Is that how that works?
That's what it was. Sorry, I just remembered about the whole thing with the werewolf. Nadia wanted to use her animal handling, but Andre had a better persuasion. So he wanted to use his persuasion on the DM to allow Nadia to use the animal handling, and I was like, well, all right, fine, do it. And the rest of the story played out.
Hold on, he rolled for a persuasion against you?
Yes, I made him do it.
How high is your...
Oh, I mean, it wasn't that high.
What?
It was probably it was probably DC like 15 or something.
Your DC is a 15, bro? You can make it any level.
in the moment, we were drinking, we were playing games. Like,
wait, what?
I'm not gonna make alcohol lowers the DC. Like, I'm not...
Okay, that makes sense. That makes so much. But he's like, the DC was 15. I'm like, you're the DM. That shit should be like a 30.
Either way.
Oh, man.
But like, see, that's a joke for the table, and that's what keeps them coming back. You want your players to be able to do that kind of shit. Listen, if you want to be a stickler to the rules, and on the inside of your Dungeon Master screen is just a full copy of the Dungeon Master's Guide with sticky notes on every page so you know exactly where every rule is, that's cool. That's you. That's not me. That's not me. I know enough of the rules to get by, and whatever I don't know, I'm gonna make up, because it's an improv tabletop RPG game, and none of it matters.
Yeah, then that's just, again, please, if you're listening to this and you gave up on D&D, just from that statement alone,
try to come back.
Try to come back.
Like we said, if you want to, you know what? Here's the actual thing. We said it last time, and I'm saying it again. I'm saying it slightly differently. If you've given up on D&D, if you've tried it and gave up, or even if you were just completely dissuaded by it, by somebody talking about it in a certain way, or just the way you've seen it portrayed, let us know. You can come sit at our table once I figure out everything else behind it. You can come and join our table, and if then you are dissuaded by it, walk away. But if you come to our table and you have a great time, I want you to find a group and do it.
Yeah, man, like,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We'll set it up. We'll help you roll a character. Again, homebrew is your friend. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? I can make that happen. I've got over 200 different races and over 40 classes. I can make over 1 million combinations of characters. What do you want to do? There's something out there for everybody.
Like, dude, he literally just said a turtle. No, a tree that's a pyromancer. Bro, you could be whatever you want. Yeah. And I think that's a very positive message to end on, because we've been going at it for like an hour now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you ever need any help, like building a campaign or character, comment on the video.
Comment in our video, send us a message. We are more than happy to help.
Yeah, comment on TikTok. We're finally back up on Instagram. They reactivated the account. I was very excited. Reactivated the account. They didn't tell me why.
That's
Don't
cool.
know. Real cool. And yeah, just we'll even start a server in Discord. I'll go ahead and put it up. And if anybody has any questions or would like to play a game of D&D or just wants, content from us, please go ahead and put it in.
Even if people have their own table that they're willing to accept people at, leave it in the Discord. Maybe somebody else is looking for a table. They can join yours. Whatever it is. Boom, making friends. There we go.
Making friends with strangers on the internet.
Right. See, we've brought it full circle.
Full circle.
We started talking about strangers on the internet. We're ending talking about strangers on the internet.
Strangers on the internet. All right. Well, it's been another amazing episode. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
Signing out. Bye. Where the hell is my mouse? Get